Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example related to lazy loading, where we will be practically seeing how load component is utilized in order to lazy load the module or component. Okay, so by the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is how we can utilize the load component in order to load the module. Okay, but before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for timing we are just mainly focusing on how to use load component in Angular. Okay, all right, so now I think we are good to go. So here, like you can see, I have already noted down the just one thing, like if you want to refer the session in a sequential manner, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. So from there you can take reference. There are more than 3000 plus resources available freely for you, available in both Hindi as well as English language. Okay, so as per your convenience, you can watch the sessions. Okay, so here you can see I have already noted down the code. So what I will do, I will quickly walk you through the lines of code that I have written. We will discuss each and every line, so don't worry. I just noted down the code just to save the time, that's it. Okay, so here one by one we will go each file. We'll try to understand what all things we have created, what all things comes as by default, and I tried my best to make the simplest example for this concept. Okay, alright, so the first heading you can see here is Angular 19 course by Sharmit. So this is our first heading. Now after this heading is just to tell that what we are going to learn. After this heading we have secondary heading, which shows the title of today's session. So today's topic title is example for lazy loading using load component in Angular. Okay, so here we are going to implement the lazy loading concept with load component method. So if you remember, when we were discussing the theoretical things, at that time I mentioned that there are two methods that we can utilize to perform lazy loading concept. One is load component and another one is loadChildren. So in this session we will be mainly utilizing the load component. Okay, so headings are ready. Now next thing on line number 7, what we have one anchor tag, where I have utilized the router link, which will help us to navigate to about. So this is a about component. Okay, and here I have also mentioned this thing that it will be eager loaded. So this thing we also discussed in last session, what is eager loading, what is lazy loading. So I'm sure like you know about this thing. So first link will act as a link which will help us to perform a eager loading to a component that is about. Similarly, we have second component, second link, which will help us to navigate to admin, but in a lazy loaded manner. Okay, so here we are not doing the lazy loading. Here we are not doing the we are not going to do eager loading. Instead we will go for the lazy loading concept. Also I have added these breaks br tag just to make a proper space between these two things. Okay, then we have one horizontal row, which will help us to create one horizontal line between the actual comments between the links as well as the output. Okay, and post horizontal row we have this router outlet, which will show us the output of the content. Okay, so I think this part is clear. Now I'll just quickly tell you like what all things we are utilizing here. So firstly, we can see that we are going to use one component, that is about component. Now the question comes, how we create the component. So to create the component, you just need to click here on terminal, the new terminal. It will open this window for you. Here in this window you can run the command, which is angular ng generate c component, and the name of the component is about. Okay, so when you press enter on this command, it will create a about component for you, but in my case it is already created, so I'm not creating it again. I'll just quickly show you what all files comes as by default and what things we have changed. So when you create the component, it will add these 4 files. The first file is about.component.css file, which is blank. Second file is about.component.html, where I have noted down the heading, that is about page eager loaded. Okay, So this is nothing but a heading which is telling the application that it is eager loaded, although it will not impact any loading. If you are writing it here, if I write it here something else, it will work. But just to let you know that this is the module or the heading that comes after a eager loading. Okay. Then we have about.component.spec.ts file, which is a default file. I didn't change anything here. In fact, we never change anything here because this is something related to the testing file. So at the time of testing, maybe utilize it, but for now, no, we are not going to use it. It will be as it is. Okay. Then next file is about.component.ts file. Again, this is a default file because I haven't changed anything here as well. This has come as it is. So overall we can say we just change one thing, that is about.component.html, where I just put this heading. Likewise, I created the next component, that is admin component. Now how you will create the admin component? You will simply go here, run the command which is ng for Angular, g generate c component, and the component name is admin. Okay, so when you press enter, it will create this admin component for you. Same kind of changes here also. Like you can see, CSS is by default blank. In HTML, I have noted down admin page lazy loaded. Spec.ts is by default. We didn't change anything here. Whatever comes as it is. And component.ts also is a default. We didn't change anything here as well. So in short, we created two components and only changed the HTML file just to put the heading so that we can understand which module is for what purpose. Okay. Although we have other components as well, like contact component, but in this demo we are not going to use. We will use only these two components. Okay. All right. So we all know that lazy loading is a concept where when you click on a link, it will load, but load only if it is needed, not every time. Okay. So first component will be loaded by default, but for second one you need to click there when you request, then only it will load it. Okay. So how we will use that? Before that, let's see app.component.html, because here you are using this router link or router outlet as well. So router outlet is something that will help us to show the output, and router link will help us to click to provide the link that user can use to navigate. So same thing you should import here. So you can see in app.component.ts file, you can put router outlet and router link. Same thing is imported here as well. That means it is successfully imported. Okay. Now you can see this thing is ready. Now you can go to app.route.ts file to configure the routes. And this is important part. Okay. Because here only like we are utilizing the load component. Okay. All right. So now you can see this thing we have, like here I have just noted down in a blank array, like you will find this, and here like you need to write like this. Path is about, component is about component. Here I just put the comment that is eager loaded route. For second path I just put admin, but here instead of writing component I just noted down like this method load component colon opening closing parenthesis, then equal and angular bracket, then import dot, which is root /admin dot component dot, then m of m dot admin component, which is nothing but a lazy loaded route. So this piece will act as a lazy loaded module component route, and this will work as a eager loaded component route. Okay. Now let's verify the output. Here I will write ng serve -- open. Although you will not be able to see the actual difference because this is very fast, although it will come with delay, but you like we are not able to see it, right? So you can see Angular 19 course by Sharmit is there, where example for lazy loading using load component in Angular is the main heading. So these two headings are there. Then we have two link, go to about for eager load, go to admin for lazy load, one horizontal row. So when I click on this about, it is loaded, but through eager loaded concept. So you can see here, this path help us to do the eager loading. But when I click on this admin lazy load, it will, although you can see it is working as expected like we didn't see any difference, right? But on the backend, yes, it changed, like bundle size and all those things are changed. But you can see this time we are not using the normal component, we are using the load component, and that is why we are considering it as a lazy loading. Okay, so I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.